So welcome to the stamp chat. Again, this is an informal one. I will let you know, I can start it off that I purchased this one. This is from eBay, and they call it a Werner's replica, and I could not help it. It wasn't much, but they had full sheets of these too, and it just blew me away. I had to have it. I get it now. When people see stuff, they're like, I know that's not real, but I have to have it. This is an interesting one. I don't even think it's a real fake. Like you have like the legitimate fakes. So does anybody have any stories with this one? I tried to Google it and try to get information about Werner's itself. And we had I think it was a person in, I want to say Maryland, USA, that was sort of producing these like in the 80s. But it's a well done stamp. It's got a nice little overprint on it, but it's absolutely it's fake for many reasons. One, it doesn't even fit the right stamp right there. But it's interesting. So that's what I'm bringing. So any comments on that one, or just thoughts about that other than it's a weed, Mike. It's an album weed.
Which stamp are you talking about?
Can you see the stamp right here?
He's talking about SG12.
Oh, all I've got is everybody's face.
Are you guys seeing my screen?
He's talking about the
I can see your screen.
surcharge.
Okay.
No, I've got the
Make sure you
screen
see
with 13 people on it.
Okay. Should have a shared screen where you see this big red Bermuda 1 penny with 3 pence overprinted on it.
I don't get that screen.
So you need to change your settings somehow, John.
Or minimize your faces. Yeah, minimize so at the top right, you should have like a box within a box.
Now everything's gone. Oh, there. All right, I got it somehow.
I'll take that. I'll take that somehow. All right.
Yeah, I see it. But now I've lost everybody else. Oh, there you are. Okay.
So that's my show and tell.
This is weird.
Anybody?
Anyway, there's a number of these things that are floating around out there, okay?
Yeah.
I've got a used one that I don't believe, because to me the overprint is on top of the postmark, which is a kind of a dead giveaway that perhaps things got put on in the wrong order. But supposedly these 1 pennies that got overprinted, this was some sort of a proof or something that the post office asked for but never actually put into use. But I have an article on it that says, I think, if I can recall correctly, that somebody found a part sheet of these things in the office, the desk of the postmaster in Hamilton, and decided it'd be nice to have, and kind of relieved the desk of the block, and there started the whole business of these things being out in the public. And of course, as soon as a stamp dealer got hold of one of them, then they tried to promote them as something that was beyond sort of the proof or the essay or whatever you want to classify it as, and presto whammy, it starts developing its own history.
That's interesting, because I just assumed it straight up was a person that had no idea what the actual denomination.
No. There's a bunch of these things running around out there. There's probably a lot. Well, there obviously is a lot more quote unquote fakes or replicas than there are the real thing. But supposedly there are some legitimately real mint ones, but not
the
used
1 pennies.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Right,
Well, if you look at the auction catalogs for Ludington and several others, you'll see that there's actually even some blocks of 4 known that are certified and genuine. There are a lot of fakes. I have a fake that's a used one, but not from this current batch. The current batch, when you look at the fakes, a lot of times they're just like computer generated. They're just something that they create, and the paper is extremely smooth. It has nothing to do with the paper that was used in the old days in printing. And so that's usually one of the first signs of something that you can spot as a fake right off the bat.
And this is
I've even
definitely a
seen
fake, yeah.
covers trying to be created that way.
Interesting.
What Michael, what you're showing here is a pure fabrication. It isn't even a real Bermuda stamp.
That's what I thought it was, but I thought it was cool and I wanted to have it just to have it to say, look at this one, this is crazy. Just as an example of like, because we have those where they're not real. They were altered where it's like if you knew the stamp, you knew that that would never have been on that denomination. There's that never happened, or a color was the wrong color for the denomination. And I
Generally,
thought
the motivation for acquiring something like this is that you've talked to yourself and said, I'm never going to own the real thing, but I still like it. It's pretty. And here I have something I can put in either my album or on a special page or whatever.
I think that's all my overprints. That's how I feel right there. They say, I mean, they've not said that they're fake, but I'm thinking, well, it's 50-50 on most of them. So I
A
don't
lot
have
of the prices on the genuine overprints, excluding this particular stamp, on eBay, you can find some good quality ones, sometimes even with a certificate at very reasonable prices. So,
I've
so
had a
you
couple
probably can
with
fill in those spots, especially for used ones.
The more reasonable the price, the more suspicious the item.
I think so.
No, in
Yeah,
some
so-
cases they have a certificate.
Well,
So-
again, that depends on where the certificate comes from.
Yeah.
Well, if it's Philatelic Foundation, which I saw one the other day and I have a couple myself, what's happened simply is that a lot of people are not collecting them. And so the prices come down. There was a time 20, 30 years ago that these stamps were selling for $200 to $300 or more each, the used ones. But the prices now, I've seen them go for even less than $100 on some occasions.
Well, and I will tell you,
Yeah,
mine's going to be condition. Obviously, not top grade condition. They're absolutely they're the stamp, but they're they're worn and they look like they've been pretty much used pretty hard. But they are an example of the stamp. So I'm not trying to get like the like even like with the early with the early English ones where you're trying to get them centered and things like that. So again, for mine, I'm trying to get an example of it. I'm not necessarily looking at the quality of it yet. I feel like when I get to stage 2 of a collecting, then I want the quality one. But for now, it's like I have that one. That's cool. This is what it looks like. I can touch it. Those kind of things. So interesting.
Yeah, so there was one pane of 60 stamps. There are 4 blocks, one of which is a block of 6 and one block of 4 is in the Royal. And there are some legitimate late usage used ones.
Oh, really?
The legitimate used ones all have the K3A number 2 on them. So anything else is fake. And there is a stamp on eBay that Nigel and I have gone to the English dealer a few times saying that this is a absolute fake and forgery.
Right.
Priced at $10,000 for a used copy, and it's completely wrong. And eBay, and I've also gone to eBay, and eBay won't do anything about it.
And the dealer won't listen to David or me, and we've gone to lengths to try to convince them that their stamp is a forgery, and they won't listen. And it's okay for them not to listen to me, but they should listen to David.
Well, I mean, they sort of know who I am, but I've gone to eBay as well, and so the reasoning for it, and these people therefore are crooks, because if you try and sell something that is clearly wrong, it was wrong for a number of reasons. So the main reason is centering. So the centering of the real stamp is to the lower left. So perfectly centering isn't right. So, but the used fakes on eBay, as Bill said, you can get them for $100 or under. At least then you can have a copy of the real Bermuda Queen Victoria stamp and just say, look, I can't get the original copy, but here is for $50 to $100. Here's an example.
And I will say this one never tried to pull that it wasn't a fake. As a matter of fact, it was labeled as a Werner's replica, which I think that if you look that up, I couldn't even find information about that made sense to this stamp. But that was the label. So it's pretty transparent.
Yeah, but it should have Werner's replica on the back. And there were also the Maryland forgeries of the 12 and 6 stamps. And they used to have, I can't remember, of course, but they either had fake or I think copy on the back. So people should know that these are copies
Hold it,
and nothing to do with original stamps.
So, David, are you telling me I have a forgery of a forgery?
No,
I feel like that's where you're going with this. Is that a whole other category?
Yeah. So a forgery is one that was done to deceive using the real stamps, and this is a 1980s, 90s, 2000. Someone ran it up on their computer.
It's good.
So right, and so you probably paid $15 for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was about that, absolutely. And I wouldn't pay more than that. Yeah.
And but I could run you up 1,000 of these for cents.
Can you make me some cool ones?
Yeah.
I want a good price because I know you. We're friends, right?
Exactly.
Excellent. All right, cool. I appreciate that one. And I didn't realize I should be able to see. It should say on the back copy, or it should say Werner's on the back of that, and it doesn't. It clearly doesn't.
And if you look on at my display on the website, you'll see some.
I'll check that. I'll definitely check that. All right. So that's mine. Yay. Okay, I'm done. So here's what I have. So Nigel, I have yours, and I already forgot. You said this is, it's David. Good, David, since you're talking, let's rock you out right now. I like that. So this is perfect transition. David's like, oh my gosh, really? So do you see the Bermuda Gazette?
Yep.
Yes.
Then okay. So David.
So I bought this back in December, November. It was on a Stanley Gibbons auction, and I was going to bid on it, but I never did because I thought it was a bit too highly priced for a nice old Bermuda paper. And lo and behold, no one else bid on it. So because of that free mark, I decided to go ahead and buy it. So I think it was $200, including commission, all in. But it has this red free, and I'm not sure whether that is. It looks like it would have been a hand stamp and not someone who wrote it in. But it's something I've never seen.
I've sent you a close-up of it as well. I sent you another email that's got a close-up of that free stamp that David sent through.
Is it getting larger?
No.
I'm trying to make
it disappeared.
Yeah, no, but so Nigel probably just sent you a copy of a separate thing, just showing an enlargement of the free, Michael.
Okay. Let me rock this one out. I'm trying to impress you with my skill set. It's minimal being impressed right here. Looking.
Do you believe that the address is proper?
Interesting. No.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with the address. So it's gone presumably from St. George's to Hamilton. Early newspapers should be free, but I've never seen a free hand stamp for Bermuda.
No.
Horst?
No.
Nigel, I didn't get the close up. I got the thing that says "and this too," but there isn't. I don't have an attachment with it.
Okay. So can I share?
David, absolutely. Yeah, I'm gonna stop my share.
My question is, how do I share what I want to show?
Bottom, you'll say if you bring the mouse to the bottom, like the cursor to the bottom, you'll see like a toolbar at the bottom, and it's the green one that says "share" with an arrow up.
Yeah. No. There we go.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yes.
So you see it?
You can even tell that it's red.
Yeah.
Well, no, of course, it could have been black, and then, over the years, the black sometimes does become red. But yes, to me, it looks red. With the serifs on the F, I'm assuming that it is a hand stamp. But as I said, I've never seen another example. So after the sale, I went back to Gibbons, got a little bit cheaper from their estimate, so saved a few pennies. And it's something. I do have a couple other papers, and the being addressed to this gentleman in Hamilton in the days of slavery. Again, I just thought was of historic interest. even though nowadays it would be less popular.
Can I ask you a question about that? The date of the paper looked this, I can't see it anymore, but I think it was 1830
Yes.
or so.
So October
And
29th.
okay, I was under the impression, I guess, from general education, which may be wrong, that the British Empire outlawed slavery in
Yeah, that's
about
what I was thinking
1820.
as well.
So I'm not
The
exactly
outlawed,
sure.
Can you guys?
sorry, I was going. They outlawed transportation before they outlawed actual ownership.
But,
Ah,
Bermuda, I think, outlawed slavery in around there. So 1832, 1834, maybe?
1834. Okay,
1834, right. Thank you, Horst.
okay. Thank you.
Huh. And anything with a name, George Mallory?
And I haven't looked it up yet.
Huh. That- It's a really cool piece, David. By the way, did everyone notice how well David did a screen share? Pull that up and be like that with no problem at all. See, I'm training you all to be experts using Zoom and all these tools. So we'll be all experts by the end of this adventure right here. So nice one. A nice one. And is it the whole paper, David?
So so yes, it's a whole paper. It's basically, in those days, it's only 4 pages in total. So it's one big page, then folded up.
Yeah.
So you have 4 pages.
Nice.
They called the broadsheet.
Broadsheet. Okay. All right. Any more comments for Dave? That's a cool one. Thank you for sharing that one. All right. I have one. I'm going to bring this one up. So I have to bring this one up a little differently, I think, just how it's there. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull this over. Okay. And kind of ignore my emails right here. But see if I can zoom this guy. Can you all see this one?
No.
No,
Not
Not
right
yet.
now.
Okay, not right now. Okay, so give me a
you
second.
could see it before on your emails, but
But I moved it. Okay, so let
do you want me
me,
to screen share it? Do you want me to screen? I can probably screen share it.
Nigel. I think I can get this. Let me give me
He'd rather
one
do
more
it
second. I am
himself.
almost there. You ready? Dazzle them, Mike. You can do it. Dazzle them up. Here we go. Boom. See it now?
No boom.
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So this is just a fun little cover that caught my eye on eBay, and I keep an eye out for unusual items related to the Monarch of Bermuda and the Queen of Bermuda, the Finnish line ships. And I'd never seen this cachet before on the sort of towards the top left. Monarch of Bermuda, received on board after passenger disembarked. And I just thought it was a cute little cover. So it's sent from Buffalo, New York, on June 28, 1938. And it's addressed to a passenger, Furness Bermuda Line, New York, and then down the bottom left, Monarch of Bermuda. So it looks like Miss Anne
Martha Engel.
Martha Engel, yeah. And then on the back of the cover, you can see it's arrived at Buffalo on the 29th of June, and then it's been returned on July the 11th. You can see the machine cancel on the back there. And I guess, like in all my years of, do you want to just go back to the front of the cover because it's been pasted into the in my years of looking out for these things, I've never seen that cachet before. Has anyone seen that cachet?
I've never
Monarch
seen that
being
either
received on board.
for Bermuda. I've seen it for
Yeah.
other lines in other parts of the world, but not for Bermuda.
Yeah. Anyone else? Horst, have you seen anything like that? Is that
No.
yeah.
Although Nigel, so presumably that was actually applied in New York.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it was
Never went to
applied.
Bermuda.
Yeah, yes, certainly applied in New York, but I think it's applied on the boat, because it's a Monarch of Bermuda cancel. So I've sort of pondered, was it applied at the New York post office? I think probably not. Did it make it to the boat? And then the
Probably on
ship
the
had
boat.
that cancel. The passenger's not there. They applied it and then chucked it back in the mail stream in New York. seems to me logical, maybe, but you would never know.
They
Anyone
probably
else
made
have a
the
comment?
attempt to deliver it, but the person was off the ship already, and so they just sent it back.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Hmm. So
But I thought, yeah,
this was
it just
designed to
goes
be
to show there's
delivered to a
interesting
person
little
on the
items that
ship.
pop up on eBay
Yeah.
for just a few dollars, you know, it was not an expensive cover by any stretch.
The reading says Monarch of Bermuda. Uh, uh, what is it? Mailed.
Received.
It's
I think
not
it's
mailed. Received on
uh,
board after passenger disembarked.
Yeah.
yeah.
To via email, airmails.
Yeah, received on board after
So
passengers.
Nigel, since you're always doing all this research, it's very simple. Research when the Monarch of Bermuda landed there and double check that the time and dates coincide, but I'm sure that it's a legitimate cover.
Well, look at the bottom.
Bill, I
Sailing
have.
out
It is.
Pier 97. So it actually gives you the pier as well too. And
Yeah.
then what West 57th Street and R. But that's an interesting, like they're identifying the boat
That's the
out
pier.
on the pier, yeah.
Yeah.
At the pier.
I tried to research the passenger. They often in earlier times the Gazette would list the passengers arriving in Bermuda, but in this period I couldn't find any passenger lists. But if I look a little bit harder, I might be able to track down the passenger lists and see whether she was on board the boat. I'm sure she would have been though. It's an
If you have
interesting
a
little-
membership at ancestry.com, they are replete with passenger lists.
Oh, are they? Oh,
Yes.
well, what do you I've always pondered subscribing to ancestry.com. Do you reckon it's worth it? Is it a good thing
It's-
to subscribe to?
I've been a member for about 20 some odd years now. I use it more often some years than others. It's a kind of a constant $400 drain on your budget.
Yeah.
But I have a very extensive family tree. I get lots of questions, and if I don't have access to the site, I will not be able to answer the questions I'm asked.
Yeah, right. Right.
So I just chuck it in as a, unavoidable expense and go with it.
Nigel, what do you think the situation for this letter is? Like it's family, because you have Angle and it's Angle from Anne
Yeah.
to hold it. It's John Angle, right? Mr. I think that's Mr.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Yeah.
Is that Mr.
Probably.
Mrs. Looks like an
John
S.
Angle, and then we've got Anne. Oh, it is. It's the M. It's a fancy M. That's really cool.
Well,
Okay.
when you look at how they write Monarch, you can see they write it in Bermuda.
Yeah.
I like that. So you're thinking like a husband or son or something? Like writing
I think
to
it's a father writing to a daughter would be
That's what I think,
My guess.
because
Yeah.
they didn't write Mrs., they wrote Miss.
Yes. Good. That's a good deal, Bill. You're a good detail right there. So the situation would be like, hey, I hope you have a good time on the ship. I love you or something like that.
Maybe she wasn't having a good time. She's off that boat and she's heading home.
Yeah.
Or maybe her
It was-
father wants to make sure that she does.
Now, the letter, of course, was returned to sender, so it never reached her.
No.
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 Well,
There was
maybe
a
she got it
sailing-
when she got back home.
There was a sailing search, but then couldn't get on the boat, or she wasn't on the manifest, and sent back home.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
she
it's
would have gotten it
definitely-
when
it's
she got
definitely
back
one
home.
It's definitely one for me to have a look. I can look through passenger lists. There could be an interesting story here. You might see an update in Bermuda Post. But the cachet for me,
Yeah, it's cool.
it's interesting. We find this, and we'll probably now find 10 of them. People will go out and start looking, and there'll be more that turn up. But I pulled out this. I can't find any reference in this book either to the cachet. So it's definitely an odd one, and it's something nice for my collection.
It's very cool.
It may be
Yeah.
as simple, Nigel, that it was only used at the New York office of the
Yeah.
Furness line.
And it's
Totally,
And
absolutely.
it would be
And
also
that
interesting to
makes sense
see
as well.
if other ships under the Furness line have similar hand stamps.
Or maybe they
Yeah,
had
and Bill,
big
I
appearances
think
of it
what you're
that they made
saying
stamp.
makes a lot of sense. It probably went to the Finesse Line office, and it probably was a hand stamp at the Finesse Line office. I think that makes good sense.
So it must have happened regularly, otherwise they wouldn't have made that cachet.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's a
But
specific.
I have never seen that
Monarch.
hand stamp before.
That's cool.
It's a great rarity. Tens of thousands of dollars.
The other person who may know a lot about it would be Jeff Dow.
Yeah. Yeah,
He-
I must drop I must drop him a line. I was thinking he might have been here today, but he's not. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll drop him a note.
He bought David Charlton's collection.
That's right.
And here's the ship, by the way. It's a beautiful ship, right there.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously, idea of sending someone mail on this ship makes it's feasible. Absolutely, very cool, beautiful.
She was a troop ship in World War II, and I keep an eye out for mail unrelated to Bermuda, but written by soldiers on board her while she was a troop ship, which is always an interesting little
Those
angle.
pictures from 1931. Then that's interesting. Okay, interesting.
And then correct me, someone will know more than me, but didn't she move to Australia and become one of the Australian cruise ships after the war? Is that Horst, you would know? Is that the
Not offhand.
right? Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was the
Yes.
Queen of Bermuda. The Queen of Bermuda was the troop ship, the sister ship. to
There
the
was
Monarch.
a problem here. Definitely it has three smokestacks, and some of those pictures only have one. So
Yeah.
some of these pictures are not, although they're claimed to be Monarch,
They removed
unless they
two
reused
stacks
the name.
Yeah.
in the
Unless it was
19
sunk or something, and they renamed it a new ship.
When
No,
the
there's only
ship,
Well, you're
one.
talking about this one right here. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
got one. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But this one right here says the Monarch of Bermuda entering New York. This is a sister ship of the Queen of Bermuda, and that's from the.
Weren't there
Bermuda
two
Archive
ships?
Collection.
Wasn't there one called the SS Monarch and one called the Ocean Monarch?
No, that's a different ship.
there's a third ship called the Ocean Monarch.
That's this one
And-
right here.
And that's
After-
the one that I think has the more modern version.
The Queen has a more modern version also. When it was renovated or rebuilt, they took away two of the funnels because they were
Yeah.
phony.
If you look at the third line, you see that? Yeah,
That's
TSS
it right
Ocean
there.
Monarch.
Yeah,
Right.
it's got one stack.
Yeah, two out of the three tunnels had funnels had no function.
Right.
Oh,
They're decorative.
okay. That's
They were decorative and they held communication gear.
okay.
Hmm.
Because a stack looked a lot cooler than an antenna. Okay, that makes sense. Or did it protect it?
Yep.
There's a good look at it because like it's the only one that has stuff coming out of it. Yeah, right.
Right.
So there are two postcards, both 1931. One has one stack and one has three stacks. The left-hand one and one second from the right.
Yeah.
Both claim to be the Monarch of Bermuda.
They probably both are.
The one on the left definitely has it on the face of the card. I can't read what's on the one on the right. But the back end of the one on the right is different than the back end
Yeah.
of the one on the left. So
Interesting.
I think there's a little confusion there.
Well, the
Yeah,
other
it's
thing you
amazing.
have to remember is they used to refit ships at different times. So they could have made some changes to the ships. Some of these ships had a long history and lasted sometimes 20 plus years in service.
Yeah, but both pictures have the same date on them. That's the problem.
1931 and
Pointing out.
1931.
Yes.
This might be something different. Yeah, not
And the
sure.
bow doesn't look right.
That picture does
Yeah.
not look like a picture from 1931, to be honest with you.
That's a good point too. Yeah. All right.
But-
Cool. All right. Nigel, did you want me to look at this one?
Dum
Oh.
dum dum.
Take it away.
Yeah.
Tease, not tease. What would you like here?
Angles.
Yep, that one there.
1931.
So this is just an interesting little area that I like to collect. Like in all areas of my collecting, I look for interesting origins and or destinations, and certainly in World War II material. And this cover is ex Peter Flynn's collection, and it's it's always been fascinating to me. It's actually in his book as well. So it's from the Vatican City to Buenos Aires, and it's gone via Bermuda. And you can't see it from the scan, but it's got the Bermuda registration number in red on the back of it. So we know that it went through Bermuda. But no, don't show us that one
Okay,
yet.
my bad, my
No,
bad.
just stick to that one.
Gotcha.
And so it's gone to Bermuda, but it's not been censored. So during World War II, and the mail to and from diplomats or religious organizations and so forth, they weren't censored. And Peter wrote about this in his book, and it's pretty standard and but a very, very rare cover, and very rare to have come from the Vatican. So I've always loved this cover. But then if we go down to the next cover, which is a its sister, which I've just recently purchased, this is also from the Vatican. And I was intrigued when I saw it because it's actually, you can see that it's gone through Bermuda as well because it's got its CL2 sensor mark number 5051. And I was thinking, well, that's interesting. That's been censored in Bermuda. Why has that been censored in Bermuda? And you can actually see, I don't think I put a scan of the reverse, but it's the return address is Giuseppe Frank, Roma 111, and his address. So even though it's been sent from the Vatican, it's private correspondence. And so it was picked up in Bermuda, and they thought, well, hey, no, this is not true Vatican mail. We're going to censor it. We're going to open it and censor it. So I thought that's just a nice little pair of covers showing mail censored and uncensored from the Vatican. Now, of course, I could have my hypothesis completely wrong on that, and there could be another explanation. And I see Horst sitting there. So, Horst, have you got anything to add on that? Have you got any thoughts on that?
Well, if it's official mail, it would have been privileged from the
Yeah,
Vatican, but the personal one would not.
yeah.
So the
Oh, good. So
sensible,
my theory is right.
yeah.
Oh,
Good thing
and
about
also,
it.
Nigel, your top one is 2 years later, so it might have to do something with how the war has progressed, and then they've maybe not giving that Vatican mail its exemption as opposed to in 1940, which is what the second one is.
I'd like to make a couple
No,
of comments.
I'm not. No, Peter doesn't. He doesn't. No, I think it was pretty much exempt right the way through. Um, because
So
that's the
Nigel, can I
second
make
one
a
is
couple of
definitely
comments?
private mail. But I'm just
Can I
curious
make
to know why it was posted at the Vatican. Why that piece of private mail went through that way.
Hmm.
There
Can I
must have
make a
been a
couple of
connection there
comments?
somewhere.
Good, Bill.
Yeah, the first cover, the one from the embassy, I think you need to explore a little bit beyond just this particular cover. First of all, it's from the embassy of Argentina that's supposedly within the Vatican. So the first question
Yes.
I would ask is, how many actual embassies were either in or right around the Vatican during that time period, especially the war period? And then try to research that angle to see if you can find
Yeah.
covers that were also from other embassies from that time period. Vatican obviously is a very difficult place to start. I've never seen a Vatican with a PC 102 label. But I will tell you, obviously, yes, that was a private cover. I mean, there was a lot of philatelic mail, even during the war coming out of the Vatican. People would go there to visit. There, obviously, because of the war, a lot of people were very religious. They visited anyway when they're in that area. And so they would send off, stamps, covers, whatever. But I just haven't seen a lot of Vatican mail censored. I have a couple of things. I have one that was actually sent to the Pope at the time.
Oh,
but
wow.
not through Bermuda. From a different, I collected it for different reasons. But so that's one thing I would explore is, what to verify your embassy idea or official mail, because there are official mail covers that have been censored. And I've actually asked that question to myself, starting with even World War I, where I have several examples from all over the British Commonwealth, including Bermuda. There were technically official covers, American consulate covers that were censored. And so I don't know to what extent that is fully true during World War II, but obviously something that you would like to look at. But I think it is very interesting topic when it comes to these diplomatic type envelopes. What's censored or not censored.
Yeah.
I have a question. I understand the airplane, but Clipper, is that referring to an airplane?
It should.
Yeah.
So that's another name for an airplane?
It's kind of an airplane.
Is it? It's not a
Seaplane at
water
that
airplane,
point.
is
The
it?
ones that tend to land in the water were
Is it
the ones that
Clipper?
were known as
seaplane.
clippers.
It is a water
Yeah.
plane. Okay.
Yeah.
This one has it as well.
Mhm.
American Clipper.
American. So that was that's the name of the clipper. So that would have gone. See this, you can't see it. I didn't scan it, but it's a Rome address, so it's local mail. I don't know whether you can see that. It's local mail bill, so it's not from a tourist because I researched the address and it's very close to the Vatican. So
The
I
name
just
on
wonder
that
whether,
envelope is a collectible.
yeah, I wonder whether this guy sort of worked at the Vatican or was somehow connected to the Vatican.
Well, the addressee, Sarabakian, he was a stamp collector.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, you recognize
very
the
And he's
well
at the
name?
known at
Hotel
that time.
Astor as well in New York, so it's a
There's a lot
trendy
of
address.
covers going to him.
That's
Right.
interesting.
I
Yeah, so
actually
it could
think
be
he might have been a dealer, but I know he was a collector.
Yeah.
But not with this
Yeah.
one.
I think
This
he
No.
was on the
definitely a
stamp
different
watch list.
scenario.
That's
Michael.
totally official.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
What's the this cover is amazing. There's so much on this cover. Oh my gosh, it's like the Christmas present of it's like that's the gold model right here. What's the S right here?
No idea.
That's your
Bill?
answer?
That's interesting. The only time I've seen an S hand stamp before was in World War I, used a lot on military mails for the British, and it usually indicated that it was coming from a foreign country. So if it was going from like to the US or Turkey or other places like that, a lot of times you would see a big S, usually in red on it. I have no idea if the S means anything there or if it was even applied there. The only thing I can tell you is it says very clearly there's the embassy, but it says ante la Santa Sede, which means right
The
where
Holy
the
See.
Vatican is.
What's
So
that?
that's why I was questioning how many other embassies were actually within the scope or right around the corner from the Vatican City itself. Because this basically says that they're right there.
They're in it. Huh. And then so this cover, this would have been like printed on the envelope. It's like their envelope. And then
Yeah, that's
And then
like
that's the
saying
hand
this
stamp.
is
Then they
official
would have been
mail
a
from
hand
the
stamp.
embassy. Yeah.
And then the registered. And then this would be from the post office. But this would be a hand stamp as well too.
Yeah.
Looks like it.
Yes.
I don't
Something
know
to
what that
find out.
is. That S is puzzling, but it wasn't applied in Bermuda.
And I'm thinking that was added later. Just someone
No.
that
I think that's the weight,
That's the weight.
like
Oh,
20
weight.
grams or 20, yeah, 0.20 grams or something like that.
Nigel, that's a cool cover.
Mm.
Registered mail would be, you would have to pay extra, obviously, for the various ounces or whatever. So that would make sense that they would weigh it to be able to give you the proper rate in franking.
But it's interesting, Bill, that you've not seen a CL2 out of the Vatican. I've not either. Have you seen one, Horst?
Sorry, I'm just looking up the stamp watch list to see if the bank hand was on the list. Carry on.
Nigel, that would probably be a good project for the Bermuda group to entail at this point. to see, especially on the early labels, the PC 102 in particular, what different countries have come up, and what countries don't exist theoretically with one, so that we can try to find them.
Yeah, there's quite a few collectors who I correspond with who are out there, and they're not necessarily Bermuda collectors, but who have got some great CL2s, origin and destinations. Peter's book is well out of date with what's known and what's not known, and the quantities of what's known. There's a lot of them out there, but I would say that's pretty rare.
Oh yeah.
And sadly, the dealer I purchased it from also knew it was rare. But I never knew that the addressee was a stamp dealer or a stamp collector or stamp dealer. I'll have to keep an eye out for mail from him. That's a good bit of intel, Bill. Thank you.
You know something else that's interesting about the Vatican is you had the Germans took over Italy at some point, and it would be interesting to see if what kind of mail was coming out of the Vatican like around 1943, early 44, because the Nazis were there. And if they were actually censoring any of this mail at that point, and they probably didn't care because they were fighting some Vatican priests that were trying to help the Jewish community and others. And there's been movies made about this, one with Gregory Peck, I remember. And it would be interesting to look a little bit later, like 43 to 45, if you can find any Vatican mail coming out and what kind of censorship it had, and if it had any Nazi censorship. It's a very interesting topic. Now this is the thing. This is the reason why, as collectors, when these types of things come up, I'm like really interested now. I want to go out and look for Vatican covers and look at censorship, and whether it's Bermuda or not, it's just a very interesting topic.
Or how to identify something that's been in contact with Bermuda postal system. I think to me that's something I would never thought about looking for. Can I ask just explanation? I'm assuming that's the year. What can you see the numbers here? I'm confused.
June 15th of 1940. So 6 is the 16. Month, 15 is the day, and 40 is the year.
Then what's the number after 40?
I'm not sure. That I can't tell you.
Maybe the time of day.
It could be the military time of day.
It could be 4 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah, military time of day. I think that's probably right.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Google says the Nazis occupied Rome between September 43 and June 44.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It was after Italy switched sides, yeah.
42, right?
43, late 43, early 44. There was like a 7-8 month period that they were there. That would be very interesting to see the mail coming out of the Vatican at that point.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Excellent. Nigel, thank you. As always, excellent something to look at, gem right there. All right. Any other shares?
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I have just a second here. I want to put the full thing back in my. Here we go. Hang on a sec. Come on. Anyway, does anybody know of a stamp dealer who operated in Hamilton, Bermuda in the 50s and 60s named Frank Maddern?
No.
If anyone would know, it would be Horst.
Well, what was the last name exactly?
Maddern.
Madden.
Why I'm asking is because I just
Not
happened.
a dealer.
Well, he has there's a number of different pieces of correspondence that came to me in this lot that there's addressed to him at something called Trey Paul Pen in Shelley Bay. There's also Frank's Stamp Shop in Hamilton, and he also had a place in Cornwall in England. And I manufactured these envelopes. Like most of them are first day covers or event covers or something like that that go back actually into the late 40s. Just curious.
No.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Okay. Maybe he imagined himself as a stamp dealer.
Maybe he used a pen name. There were a couple of dealers around that time period that were not necessarily doing good things. And so maybe they didn't want to be found out.
Definitely.
You know, like the guy who used to take Bermuda key plate stamps, put them out in the sun, and then have them canceled with regular cancels instead of the revenue cancels that they bleached out with the sun. That was one example.
Yeah.
People couldn't tell that the stamps were bleached out as well?
No,
The sun does a lot of things.
The purple dye faded quickly.
Okay.
You might remember this, some of you. I seem to remember, I think Dick Geyser, he experimented one time and he held a key plate out in the sun and he blacked out everything except for the head plate, and he got it so that it completely evaporated and it was only the frame that was left, or some experiment like that. So yeah.
I feel like that's my mellow when looking at colors, like what the color is. Definitely with reds and stuff, it's sort of like I think when you go into the idea of really trying to identify a stamp, you just get lost in it, and then you question everything. And
well, you can't do it without examples. I've done I think I've done a half decent job on the George VI key plate, the high values. And I've used the Bermuda Specialized Catalog as my guide, which essentially tries to differentiate between every single printing, in some cases, even within printings. And I just keep going over more and more material and just comparing that to the base collection and seeing what'll improve what and so forth. And I'm down to where I'm only missing one stamp, actually. It's one of the 12 and 6s.
The lemon
rest
yellow?
of them, I think, are... Sorry?
The lemon yellow?
No, that one's easy because everybody's looking for it. No, but like I said, if you go by the Bermuda Specialized, you're into like, I haven't got the material in front of me here, but it's some rather, well,
have you tried using
colorful descriptions?
Light? Have you tried using an ultraviolet light for that identification?
I have a UV light here. I probably should use it then, shouldn't I?
It's an eye opener when you look at some of those shades with that. I will mention something. So many years ago, I had a friend of mine who passed away several years ago, and we used to get together to identify key plate stamps. And we had a set of the Nyasaland George VI key plates that was in perfect condition. The gum was as fresh as the first day it came out, which is rare because they're all usually brownish gum. And the difference in just the toning of the gum made a significant difference in the shades that you could see. So when you use ultraviolet, it kind of gives you an additional layer of confidence in the shades that you're doing. One of the hardest ones for me, believe it or not, was the mid-1940 printings of the 2 shilling after like the model, like from 42 to 46.
Okay.
Some of those shades almost look the same under ultraviolet light. You know, they were slightly differentiated. And the reason why I mentioned the lemon yellow is that when you look under ultraviolet light, you can really spot if it's truly a lemon yellow or not. It really helps to have the ultraviolet for some of these shades.
Oh.
Well, if the one that I've got doesn't turn out, I better get back to Spink on that because they told me that it was definitely a lemon yellow when they encouraged me to bid on it.
So good suggestion there, Bill, with using the ultraviolet. That's interesting. I'd love to see actually what they look like with ultraviolet, just so I know sort of what that is as well too.
Yeah. One thing about ultraviolet I'd like to mention while we're here, because I run into this a lot with the local club. A lot of people try and use handheld ultraviolet lights, and they do not really give you a very good picture of what's going on. Years ago, I used to have a Raytech LS88 with the box that goes with the lamp,
Yep,
and you could
that's exactly
put
what
your
we used to
Mhm.
use.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I tried to, idiot that I was, one time I was having a little less interest in stamps. I foolishly gave away my LS88 to somebody who just wanted it so badly. So I
That's the
decided
best
about,
light they've ever made for
well, yeah,
stamps.
the point I'm going to get it to is that LS88 cost me about $150 at the time. I about 2 years ago decided I was going to replace it by going out and finding another one that was actually for geological use. Now, as soon as you put something in the realm of professional use, of course, up goes the price. And it was made in Germany. I obtained it through a retailer in Oregon, sorry, Idaho. Wrong. And it got to me, and for the paltry sum of $1,200. But if you're going to do anything with a UV light, use something like that, and don't get fooled by the handheld ones. Anyway,
Okay.
my speech is over.
So LS88.
Well, you can't get an LS88 anymore. I tried to find one for the longest time, and the Raytech just got out of the business, and that was that.
So
Once
you're
in a
just
while, if you look at the back of auction catalogs for supplies, once in a great while, they'll come up with one that you might be able to buy that way.
Yeah,
But
well, the
yeah,
problem is getting the box to go with it.
that's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And ultraviolet light, when you're using it, you want to make sure that the surrounding area is as dark as possible. That'll give you the cleanest version of the light.
Yeah.
Can I jump in here for a minute?
You're in.
I don't know. The club had a meeting in Hartford years ago, and Peter Flynn did a dissertation on this topic, all the shit, how he went down to Smithsonian and used their equipment and everything. And I walked out of that with my head shaking, like, is this stamp collecting or what? There was too bad that those days you couldn't have videotaped that because it was the most detailed. Uh, I don't know what word you want. Most detailed
Presentation.
presentation. That's the perfect word. I'm sure some of you, I'm sure, were at the show. I think Bill might have been at the show. Of course, Tom Bansack at the time had a table at the show. Oh, it wasn't. Oh, it was that town Boxborough or whatever, and walked away with that with a whole new understanding about shades and what's there and what's not there. I just had to throw that in because I was thinking of Peter Flynn with that, and I talked to him. Well, he didn't live that far from me, so talked to him over the years. Wish we could have gotten that thing recorded because everybody would have had an informational library that'd be hard to beat. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you for the comment. And again, I feel like that's another reason why I think these Bermuda chats, because it gives me a chance to record them and put them out there. And I will tell you, I have a handheld, by the way, but I just got it for Christmas. I had an old school one, but I asked for an upgrade. It's a Lindner one of that. So it gives me both high and low. It's like Christmas. I'm looking at other stamps now, but it's for me, these things sort of open more doors for our interests and our collections that maybe we hadn't thought about, or for like new collectors hadn't thought about, and adds another level to it. And I even think like again, looking at specific marks, it makes me look for them now. And then I get a little excited and giddy when I see one, and then it gives me like a sort of insight of, oh my gosh, that's a cool one to have. So I do agree with you with about recording things and having this so that we can go back and sort of get that sort of knowledge with that. So good point, Dennis, absolutely.
UV had its heyday back when tagging was first introduced, when the automatic mail handling equipment was being brought in and so forth. And then after that became sort of commonplace, and it sort of faded into the background. But it's still, as was pointed out, there's still some pretty valid uses for it.
Well, I had an Australian one, not in New Zealand, but an Australian one. It was their butterfly collection. It was butterflies, so it was a butterfly series, and they had in fluorescent with a light over it the name of the butterfly. It was cool.
That's awesome.
It's like discovering like Find Waldo or something. Like, oh my God, look at that! It's glowing. It's the name of it. You do get. Maybe it's just me, but you get excited. But I took it to the club and showed the club like, look, put a light on it. Isn't that cool? So again, it's an added sort of like we call them Easter eggs for video games. Like you're looking for when you see it, you go, ah, I got it. Yeah, I saw that one. So for me, it's a little bit like that as well. But I do feel like as far as identification, that's a neat way because I think that's a frustration in some of our fields, definitely with Bermuda, is the color shades. And I'm slowly doing the keys, but I'm scared to death of it. I look at them and I can tell they're kind of different, but then I'm blown from that. So I feel like anything that's going to give a tool to sort of better understand something, absolutely. If it's not with a handheld, we have to look for boxes. That's cool as well too. Excellent. Any other? We're doing pretty good on time right here, so we're at 5:18. Any other shares right here? All right. Any more questions or comments? I have a hand up. That's cool. I like that. You never beat out school. Can we raise the hand up?
You want a hand?
I love that.
There's a hand.
Oh, there you go. See, I told you we're going to all become professionals. People are going to come in and go, that Bermuda Club. They are like technological prowess right there. That's awesome.
Just a quick question. I got in here late and I missed the first half hour. It's being recorded. Is there someplace I can see this on the website? The answer is yes, but how do I get there?
So the answer is yes. And I'm labeling them all the same way. So they will, that way there's some consistency. So if you Google Bermuda Stamp Chat, they'll come up and you should see a listing. I think that's still kind of accurate there. But I'm being very, very specific with my approach to how I'm labeling them so that when people Google stuff like Bermuda, and I'm adding also the Bermuda Collector Society as well too, that these videos come up. So the answer is this one will probably, I'm pretty good with turnover time. Probably by next week it'll be posted, so you'll be able to see that. Unless I'm ranting or say something, I'll try to cut that right there. I will say the only one we didn't do was Ideas Fox's one. She was so nice. It was just a great chat. But she shared a lot of stuff that was really, it was very personal and very informative. And my dad thing came up where it's like I didn't want to get anybody in trouble. So I'm still working on how can I edit that so that we can get all the good stuff. But that's sort of the idea as well too. So I want to make sure that we can post these. But that's what you do. Short answer is look next week and you'll see it. And the label on this one's probably going to be Bermuda Stamp Chat Show and Tell 2026.
Thank you.
That's the label on that one. Cool.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a note to the club if there's any interest, and I have no horse in this race, by the way, but Dutch Country Auctions, which is in North Wilmington, about 20 minutes from me, occasionally has some interesting Bermuda items there, and they have the Bermuda postcard, the H&G catalog number 6, which is the 1 penny and halfpenny stamps on the postcard with the 1 penny overprint on it, and it's up for auction. I guess it's March 11th, 12th, somewhere in there, and right now the bid is at $350.
Thank you, Jay, for that, and I do appreciate you mentioning things like that. So that's
yeah. Well, you could drive up there, you know.
I could, Jay, but I would get in trouble with my wife and family. I'd have to explain that, and that Valentine's is coming up. I want to stay on the good list.
There you go.
All right. So thank you. Let's see. Do I want to come back to I don't need the slides, so we'll stop here. Thank you everybody for coming in. Again, be looking for information on the March. If you have any ideas or things you want to share, absolutely. And the idea here is absolutely that we heard is where are these going to be? They are going to be on the YouTube. I'm being consistent with them, so it's sort of building up this that anybody that's Googling something or on YouTube looking for like, hey, the Victorians, that it will come up. And again, anything that connects us and connects to Bermuda flatterly, that's my goal right there. So I appreciate the shares. They absolutely are going to be phenomenal. I'm looking forward to getting these onto YouTube. So unless we have any other comments, thank you so much. Stay warm. Some of you are already warm, so I'll try not to be jealous, Nigel. But generally, everyone else stay warm, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in March and definitely in May as well. So have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks a lot,
Thank you,
Michael.
guys. I enjoyed it.
Have a good one.
Wow.
Yep.
Thank you.
The